Welcome to the Startup Innovators podcast, where we look at some of the hottest young startups on the planet. Today, we're super excited. We've got Damian Scavo in the house today. I've known Damian for a little bit and I've watched the progression of his newest venture called Streetbeat. And if you like finance, investing, and AI, you're going to see the merging of all three of those today. It's something very new, very exciting. And so, Damian, it's so great to have you on the pod.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. Nice to meet you too,
Great.
Tim.
And I know
So nice to be here.
And I know you just came back from an exciting trip in Europe where you're looking to complete your Series A, looking at a balance between investors, both in the United States and Europe, based on your background and your clients. And that is for your new venture called Streetbeat. Before we get started, I just wanted to do a really kind of quick intro on Damian. So you know where he's coming from in his background. So Damian is a serial fintech entrepreneur who's very involved in AI. Some would call him an AI visionary. He co-founded multiple startups, including Axwave, that was acquired by Samba TV in 2019, followed by Paz Savannah Bank in Africa. And most recently, he started Streetbeat a few years ago. And the company's now officially in the go-to-market role, accelerating funding and growth, and based here in our wonderful neighborhood of Palo Alto, California. So, from what I understand from our various conversations and lunches together, Streetbeat is something doing a little bit differently. It's focused now primarily on B2B and providing AI tools for investment management firms. I guess kind of like we hear about the word copilot is used, AI copilots, and are being used all the time around AI assistants. There's a lot of different vernacular that appeal to the same thing, but it's that idea of having an AI personal assistant embedded into whatever your service or product is. In your case, providing a platform that could help like your local wealth manager be more valuable to you as a client. And it sounds really exciting. I'm not sure how different it is from what people are going to try to hack on their own using Grok and ChatGPT and all the different versions of LLM models that are out there today. So I think a great way to start would be the basic question, which is tell us about Streetbeat. Why did you start the company in the first place? You're a serial entrepreneur. You've done lots of different things. So I'm sure this is the next big baby for you. And when was the moment where you realized that AI was going to make a significant change in the investment community and you decided to go all in?
Yeah, so well, a little bit about the vision, and it's connected to my background, right? So I've started doing software for high frequency trading in 2001 and 2. I had almost 160 customers back then, from Nomura in Japan to Bank of America, and so at that time, a lot of people was doing manual trading, and then they moved to algo trading, high frequency trading. And I was part of that shift. Actually, I was some of the people building the most exciting software in that space in a company today called Ion Trading System, which today is owned by one of the richest person in the world, the founder of this company. And I saw manual trading moving to high frequency trading. I saw manual trading available to the masses. And I saw that the behavior of people when they invest by themselves without a professional investor, is not so good. 80% of the people that trade by themselves lose money in crypto or stock. And when I was selling Axwave, I was sharing the office with this small startup called Robinhood at that time. And I already knew that product will cause a lot of problem because it's very easy to do manual trading, not high frequency trading, algo trading at all. And I saw that the fact that a lot of people are going to lose money. And then COVID hit, a lot of people started to do trading from home. But the reality is that they underperformed the benchmark in the last 4 years by 70%. And this is public available data, and you can go and find it. So the vision of Streetbeat came from one side, from my experience of algo trading and data expert, because then the company that I was selling, we were doing, this was called Axway. We were doing a lot of data management, and then we started to put AI on top of it. At the same time, the realization that a lot of professional traders use a lot of data to invest now. They actually buy data, I don't know, for the credit cards to decide in which company to invest, right? And manual trading is something that professional trading don't use, if not to correct some corner case error. And so the vision it was born around those years that in the future we'll all have an AI companion that help to invest in the market using AI data and automatic trading. So that's how Streetbeat was born. Was born because a bunch of people were asking me to help them investing, and they wanted to invest by themselves, but they wanted me to tell when to buy, what to buy. Imagine you have 50, 60, 70 people WhatsApping you, hey, Dami, should I buy this? Should I sell this? What's the right price for this? That was impossible to, And then I realized, well, maybe I can, because I have all this data and I have all this algo trading, if I put a AI interface to all these, and then LLMs were not ready yet at that time. We were looking at the 3.0, ChatGPT 3.0, before it became popular with the 3.5, and nothing was really working. So we started with a UI that let people, a retail product that let people choose inside AI managed trading strategies. But then we were the first one in the world that you can, at one point, ask your AI, say, hey, I want to invest in, and the first thing was, I want to invest in AI itself. No? And it go and created a portfolio. It created the algo trading software to manage the portfolio. And then because it was connected to a broker, in that case, Alpaca, you can connect also Robinhood, it started to trade for me, okay, based on my goal, capital growth, short-term gains, high risk profile. And that's the genesis. And when a lot of people started to see it, because we got hundreds of thousands of downloads, then a lot of professionals came to us say, hey, I would like to have something for me that do. So wealth managers started to ask us. And big organization reach out, say, hey, this is fantastic. And so from there, that's the evolution of Streetbeat. Now it became a B2B company that help broker platform like, eToro in the world, from wealth managers like we are working with several European wealth managers, and now we have more than 2,300 wealth managers that use us to build portfolios, and over another 1,800 that use us only to produce content, like the history of this portfolio analysis, comparison, and so on. And then we have several dozens of thousands of client retail directly, but it's not our main business anymore. That's our lab. And dozens now of B2B conversations of people that, hey, want to give the AI to help people to achieve their financial goals. Financial goals, not necessarily just invest in the stock market. It can be find the right insurance for me or the best credit card. So it's all personal finance.
Wow. That's really interesting. I've always wondered, so first of all, even with a broker or wealth manager managing your money, there's always that human emotional aspect of it. And I've always thought maybe AI can take a little bit of that out. I think for short-term traders, not what you were doing as a professional, but for the average person at home, in my experience over the many, many decades, one of the reasons people lose money is the emotion of when to buy and sell just becomes too strong. And they can't take that away from, they can't move away from that. Sometimes you go to a wealth manager or a broker, whatever you want to call the person, and you look for them for stability in that time and calm. But behind the scenes, they don't necessarily have that either. And I would imagine that massive amounts of data and AI will bring some emotional stability to the process. I guess in the past, wealth managers, they used a variety of things to do research, independent research, private people that were doing assistance, large brokerage firms probably have their own research departments and tools. Where do you see at the B2B level where your greatest impact is right now? Is it in that middle section, or is it kind of the smaller brokers that don't have the access to larger research and trading tools historically?
So actually, right now it's at the big guys. So
really?
The people
Wow.
that have more than 100 wealth managers is where because we come and we make a lot of department automatics. Let me give an example. There is a big broker in Europe, the biggest for volume in stocks. They have a centralized system to create personal portfolio. So they have, let's say, a dozen of standard portfolio for everybody. But if the customer is very wealthy and they have 500,000 customers, and 3,000 RIAs that work exclusively with them, If the customer is very wealthy, then they will create a portfolio specific for that customer. So that means that the financial advisor need to talk with the customer. They need to talk with the headquarter, negotiate, come with a proposal. This takes multiple hours, multiple days.
Mhm.
And then they receive a 20-page personalized private portfolio for them. Now, after they do that, they also have the problem that now they have dozens of thousands of this personal portfolio. There is no person behind them to rebalance them. So this portfolio are designed to not be touched anymore, right? So they are not accommodating for a tariff war between US and China or a conflict between Iran and Israel and so on. So when we came there, we took that logic that the central team, which is a fantastic team of amazing people, very smart, that have that wrote books and have automatic system to create value at risk portfolios that are amazing. But we transform everything in an AI so that now all the 3,000 financial advisors can just talk to the AI in their PC, Mac, or whatever, or mobile phone. The AI will get all the data from the user, all the inputs, and in less than 1 minute, it will create a personalized portfolio. Not only that, from now on, rebalancing in a way that is compliant by the law or with the current market condition or the current risk profile of the user, because also the risk profile of people change across time.
Yeah.
Then the AI can do all of it. So when the AI create the portfolio using the logic of the top people in the organization, and then rebalance it, manage it, and so on. Imagine the power now that this organization has. Every customer, even the guy with $10,000, can have the most advanced portfolio that ever was created by that company for that specific goal.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I think traditionally, maybe people would rebalance a portfolio once a year, right? You get together with your financial advisor, you say what's changed in your life, what's happening, and you make a subtle rebalancing change. But right, it doesn't accommodate for really anything. And if there is a huge externality, like you said, a tariff war, a kinetic war, huge political change, whatever the situation has to
Somebody
be.
invented a new AI.
Well, and the only person that's going to really get the attention, oh, well, the wealth manager is going to be someone that, like you said, it's not the person with the $10,000 portfolio. It's the person with the multi-million-dollar or much larger portfolio. And by the time it whittles down to the smaller fish, as we'd say, who knows what's happened with that externality? It could have blown out into something massive. There could be a huge change. So that idea of, I wouldn't call it real time portfolio rebalancing, but that idea that it's some system is looking at it and making adjustments within the constraints, as you said, that you're allowed by law and by whatever your agreement is really, really amazing. I think a little bit too, and I know you've been involved with this concept of tokenization. I personally believe that, 10, 15 years down the road, so many things are going to be tokenized, and it's going to be very empowering for either people that don't have a lot of resources today or younger people that are coming up who want to create kind of this cool portfolio, but they don't have enough resources to be able to do it. They're not accredited investors. I could really see something like this enabling a lot of smaller investors to now come into the fray and now be part of this because of these AI tools that you're building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Two things. First, in this generation, even my kid, he's just 9. He's
Yeah.
already trading in tokenized items in video games. You trade.
Yes, my son too.
You trade assets that are expensive sometimes, $50, $100, and so they are used already since they are kids to do this, and of course to deal with scammers, to market abuse, market manipulation, etc. So the tokenization of assets is something that people are born with right now, and
Yeah.
people are born trading video games, NFTs, or crypto, like it's
Yeah.
normal. So in the future, it will be just normal that they buy a house or a painting, So that's coming. The other thing is the AI will help you not only to manage your stock market, it will help to manage your financial goals, right? So it will help you to manage also in-game asset at one point. And so that's the expansion. And I can not only suggest you when or to sell something. But it's also when you wake up in the morning, if you are a financial advisor, it can tell you the next 10 more important things that you should do, with who should talk, why, how, what to propose to them. If you are a person, you can wake up and it can tell you the next best 3 things that you should do today to achieve your financial goals. Pay that credit card, get a loan to pay that um, other credit card, or buy a house and stop renting, or rent and sell the house because rent are in the next 10 years, I don't know, cheaper than taxes, I don't know, stuff like that. No? So it will depend on where you are, the data available, your goals, your situation. You just had a liquidity event because an insurance pay off a car accident. Hey, you should allocate these in
You
gold.
inherited some money, whatever the situation is.
Oh yeah, rate some money.
Yeah, I
Happy
think it's really
progress.
fascinating because, the traditional way is you meet whoever's working with you, if you're working with a wealth advisor, and you figure out your portfolio, you figure out like kind of the macro thing where you'd like to go. But once you leave, the execution aspect of it, like anything, right? You can meet with a consultant to build the perfect diet, perfect workout for you, all these wonderful things, and you feel great. But every day you have to actually do the thing you're supposed to do to achieve those goals. And you do not get that from your wealth manager now. And certainly they're not building apps to track everything that you're doing today, right? It's one thing to say, contribute this amount of money per year, and that's going to accumulate over time and the power of compound interest. But the reality on the ground is, like you said, things happen, right? Your car breaks down. That cost you $2,000. So I lost $1,000 I was going to invest in whatever this week. It's very interesting that you're incorporating all of that together. So not just the building of the goals and the allocation of the funds and the strategy, but these tools actually will help you stay on track, adjust, and manage the execution of that in real time based on whatever's happening in your life. That's something that's completely new to me. I guess a question that would come up from a lot of people is, if this is so empowering, right? Why will I even need an AI empowered wealth manager to do this one day? Why couldn't I use these tools to just do it on my own?
Yeah, well, in our vision, the human touch is always important. So you also need to explain people how to use this technology, and you need to check that the technology is working properly. So what we see is that in the future, wealth manager will be able to serve 10 times more people that they are serving right now. And this touch will be through AI and to monitor what the AI is doing. Like you monitor right now a portfolio, then you will monitor the AI managing the portfolio, but then you will be able to monitoring many more people at the same time. So we still see the financial advisor in the loop because he will, in any case, be able to bring that connection between people and technology. There is some people that will just go full AI, but that will be a minority, not the majority. The majority will always use hybrid situation for what I see right now. And in any case, for the next 15, 20 years, then I don't know. In any case, what we also see right now is that the AI is already much smarter than human being in almost everything related to numbers. Especially when you create super agentic architectures like our one. Our technology create agents on the fly based on what they need to do, and then these agents code on the fly, and they are developer, data scientists, combination of both. So whatever you ask them, the AI to do, it actually create kind of a robot on the spot that do what you ask, designed to do what you ask. And then this robot have access to a virtual machine, a sandbox to be more specific. And inside this sandbox, they code, download data, process data, analyze data, and tell you, and do that in seconds automatically without you even knowing what's going on. So in the future, this technology will be 1,000,000 times smarter than it is right now.
Yeah.
And it will be dozens of times smarter than a human being. So of course, it will be logical to have them helping us.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom. I think the other thing you mentioned earlier too about still wanting a relationship with a human being. When these shockwaves happen, it's one thing for the AI to tell you what to do, but you still want to talk to a real person. The other thing I do like about traditional wealth managers is the stories they tell from all the different clients that they have. So it's not just I ran your stuff through a model and here's what you should do. But as you build that relationship, you also hear from the 10, 20, 30 years worth of stories of the different clients they've had. And that adds to the credibility of the wealth manager. And only a human being can do that. But certainly, as you said, the ability to process information and make decisions and incorporate real world data and mass amounts of data is just something a human being can't do. And AI is just proving to do it. So I also love what you said, too, about your son, and my son's the exact same way. I don't know if your son's come up to you and said, "Dad, can I borrow this amount of money? I don't have a credit card because I'm only, 10, but I'll pay you back." And you're like, "For what for?" "Well, I want to buy this really cool token for this game I'm playing." I'm like, "Well, why would you buy that?" I've changed my whole view over the years as I've become somewhat enlightened. My belief in crypto and certainly tokenization and the whole new a digital monetary system for a digital world that we're moving into. For those that maybe have older children or don't have any children, it's it is a very different thing. These kids grow up seeing value in digital assets that are not tangible. And so a lot of people would say, well, how could Bitcoin be worth anything? It's just some made up digital thing that sits out there in cyberspace. It's not backed by anything. In crypto too, to grasp that concept is a huge shift, maybe from one generation to another. But the kids come up understanding this, and when they're old enough, and I see this from my other kids that are entering college right now, when they want to start investing, they don't want to buy a boring old bond, right? They want to invest in the new stuff, right? And to them, it doesn't seem new. It's what they've been doing and playing and managing for the last 10 years. So I think that's super exciting.
Correct. And
Yeah.
the psychological aspect is very important. I think financial advisor will always be good psychologists. They need to help the emotional side. And these people will need to be good psychology with us because they will offer us to invest in NFT 10, 20 years from now. And we don't understand why that NFT is valuable at all, So they will need to help us like we are helping now others. So it will continue the chain. And it's incredible. My 9-year-old is able to remember the rarity, for example, of a specific asset. Say, oh, wow, this guy is selling this asset for 10 times the normal value. We should buy it. And then he go, and it's true, because all those assets are at, I don't know, at 10,000 gem, and this guy is selling it at 100 by accident, I don't know. And then you buy, you put it back at a reasonable price. And he's doing that like it's normal.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Well, I've always said the future looks really bright for young people. There's never been a better time to be alive than now. So let's talk about some goals that you have over the next 12 months. Kind of where are you in the process? I know we've talked about you have a bunch of institutional clients in Europe that are super excited about this. You're going to close your Series A pretty soon. You're working on the United States. What if we look out 12 months? Where do you see Streetbeat in terms of penetration, maybe market awareness?
Yes. So the final goal of Streetbeat is to empower 1 billion people with AI, financial AI. So the goal is to partner with realities that have multi-million customer base and help them to deploy AI into the life of people. Because how many bank accounts do you have? How many credit cards do you have? Like how many
Way
trading
too
platforms
many.
do you have?
Too many.
Have you seen any AI inside any of your that is helping you to manage them?
Um, Absolutely nothing. I mean, not on an
Nothing.
integrated basis, right? They're all
Yeah.
different. They don't talk
Yeah,
to each
we
other.
release, not only they don't talk to each other, but inside themselves, there is still all buttons and click and mouse. And so we released the Streetbeat AI 2.5 years ago, and we are still way ahead of the market. That's when we realized that if we want to reach 1 billion people, instead to compete for those customers, let's serve those customers where they already are. And so our vision is now to empower all the banks in the world. There are a bunch of them. They will gonna do a great job by themselves. JP Morgan is investing $17 billion per year in AI, of course. But there are hundreds of thousands of other financial institutes that don't have, or in any case, dozens of thousands that don't have the $17 billion per year budget to invest in AI. And JP Morgan will not take it and give it to Nomura, hey, copy all my AI and serve your customer, because they are the competitors. No?
Of course. Yeah.
And on the other side, it's not that Google and Microsoft will say, "Hey, right now I will compete with Bank of America for their financial service." So we are taking this vertical that is highly regulated, and we are serving not the top 1% of the market, not the top 2, but the other 98%. And the goal is to empower every people in the world with an AI that is much smarter than the Warren Buffett, and it will be much smarter than any Warren Buffett that ever existed. And not only that, it will help you 24/7, speak your language, listen to you, and so on. So we are very proud that we went live already with these thousands of financial advisors, because when we released the product, they couldn't believe how good it was. And
That's
the
amazing.
financial advisor is a perfect environment to polish and test everything. When the rollout with financial advisor would be even more massive, I expect next year to start to deploy with retail user. Retail will go to the AI and ask, what should I do today? Why? What's best for me? Or even the AI will reach out to them. And we say, today you should do these 3 things. You must do this, you could do this, or, and he will propose. So that's our vision. So we will finalize the Series A, is almost closed next week. I don't know when this will go live, but in July it will be closed. And then I will create a good team to help me to go to market with this technology. I already have amazing people in some region of the planet. I will need to create a good team in New York, in London, that help me to achieve these goals.
How are you on the tech platform? Is that pretty well developed now, or is there a lot more that has to be done over the next 12 months?
Well, it's a never-ending factory, of course, right? I'm very proud to say that we are one of the most advanced in the world, for sure, also because we did a lot of benchmarks. One of them is the Tau bench, and we are scoring higher than anybody else right now. Tau bench is a benchmark designed to measure the ability of the agents to fulfill real-life situations, a complex one, very complex stuff that would require specialized individuals, many hours of work to complete all these tasks. And the AI is able to do it more accurate than a human in seconds for pennies. And this is where we are right now. So the technology is pretty advanced compared to anything that is out there. On the same time, we know that this will never end. We will keep improving it forever. And the technology, on one side, will start to improve by itself, but at the moment, it requires a lot of power from individual. On the other side, we see AI helping a lot of our developers to improve the productivity by a lot. This video, I don't know how we're going to age, but right now with the existing technology, we can empower our developers to do things that before were absolutely impossible. So now, the productivity of developer is much higher.
Yeah. No, I think that's an amazing aspect of AI that people are saying, what it can actually do and how it can power these super developers to really scale things in a way that was impossible a year ago. So how large of an opportunity do you think this is for your company?
So I think this is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. We already see consultant company billing in the billions of dollars to help people to figure out what supplier to use like us. So I think this is a gigantic opportunity. We are limited only by the fact that we are a small startup at the moment. We are doing the big step by ourselves with 2-3 people. So the only limitation that we will have is marketing and distribution. I think marketing and distribution will be super important in the future as products become more democratized. I mean, there will be less barrier to replicate products. So that's why we are partnering with some consultant companies that already have the distribution that we need to scale faster.
So they will lead you into these large wealth management firms, essentially. Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Any other roadblocks that you're seeing right now? Hurdles that you have to get over the next 12 months?
No, I think distribution and marketing are the 2 main ones that we need to deal with. Yes, there is still a little bit of a psychological and education things that we need to do inside the organization. So on one side, many people say, wow, AI. On the other side, people say, oh no, AI. Okay. So there is this 2 universe matching each other right now. So when a competitor move fast and achieve some result, then one side win. Okay, the conservative say, oh no, if they did it, we need to find a way to do that. But on the other side, until there is no a competitor in a territory doing something particularly cool, there is this resistance. The other roadblock that I see is that because AI education is still relatively low, and it will be low for a long time, for people it's difficult to differentiate between real pearl and real gold versus fake pearl and fake gold. And this applies also to VC. So for the VC, it's very difficult to understand unless they are AI tech savvy. I mean people that know how to code and how much time it takes to do things. They have a hard time to really understand the value in what they see. And this is causing a lot of asymmetry in the market. So those ones that know have an incredible advantage compared to those ones that don't know. In this world, I will actually argue that if you work in this industry, startup industry, if you don't know how to create an AI ecosystem by yourself, you shouldn't be making any financial decisions for any organization. So the financial decision should be left only to those individuals that deeply know the technology, because this is a technology shift, one in centuries. For what I see is more powerful than electricity, or in any case, the impact that we'll have in society will be much more powerful than electricity. And if you don't really know it, how it works, how to make it work by yourself, you shouldn't take any financial decision inside the organization, because it's so radical, the change that is coming.
Yeah, and the
And
pace at which
yeah,
it's going to evolve is so quick that
yes, it's
yeah,
evolving.
you'll just be left behind.
It's evolving at the speed of light, so you need to be extremely expert, extremely. So I see a lot of people that don't get, for example, the value that Streetbeat has created because they are not enough deep into the technology. And
That mu
yeah,
that must have been interesting when you're going around to meet with various investors, because when you have something that's so new, even though you have very smart, savvy, and really smart investors, it's new to them too.
yeah.
So it's that must be something interesting to overcome, because you're presenting a concept to someone, like you said, they're very intelligent, they're very bright, but they don't know the nascent industry because it's brand new and they haven't grown up on the ground floor with it. So that's I'm sure you had some you probably pulling your hair out with some of these investor meetings, and other ones where you're like, oh my gosh, thank God I've met someone that really has dug into this deep and sees the true vision of where this is going.
Yes, what I saw is the investors are all very smart people, because if not, they wouldn't be there. It's not a matter of intelligence. It's a
Right.
matter of really technical knowledge. So if the investor is not a developer, he will need to rely on old metrics like revenue or
Yeah.
burning rate or
Right.
team size or pipeline, which tell you the past but doesn't tell you the future. It can tell you a trend, but it doesn't tell you the inflection point. So everything that I saw so far in the market is that the real winner will be the AI savvy VCs. It's a gigantic opportunity. It's like investing in the era in which we invented a combustion engine in people that do combustion engines. Okay, so you should do well anyway, because it's such a transformation moment. Like today we call them computers, but in AI, with AI or not, but in the future there will not be this distinction. So every device will be intelligent, or any
Well,
device in which makes
I
sense.
believe possibly every
Mm.
human being will be intelligent, because
Yeah, I wish.
somehow AI is already subtly being embedded
Yes.
into us. We'll see. We'll see if the Neuralink, things of that nature, if everybody will be a superhuman one day. But I
Mm.
don't think you put the genie back in the bottle, and it's. I think I believe that it's going to lead to a better future for us.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those naysayers as worried about, the Terminator syndrome and all these different
No,
things.
no,
So
it's not that
it's
way.
super exciting. And
Mm.
yeah, when you live in, the Bay Area like we do, and everybody's into AI and you see Waymo cars driving everywhere, you feel like the rest of the world is in the same environment, but a lot of times they're not. When you travel the country and travel the world, you realize how it's going to be a couple years before the majority of people out there really see how AI can impact their life in a positive way. Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's transformational, yeah, like
yeah,
what computer did in the 70s.
for sure, for
But it's
sure.
impacting biotech, is impacting life expectation,
Of
is
course.
impacting job demand, is impacting economic ecosystem, digital versus physical, is impacting creativity and design, scalability. There was some guy that calculated to redo avatars today will take $10,000 versus the $400 million that were spent at that time or
Oh my
something
gosh.
around this order of magnitude. Don't quote me exactly on the numbers, but so games will become, they will be created on the fly by the system. So the game is not anymore a $10 billion studio project. Now you create an engine that realize the game dream on the fly as you interact with it. Same movie. A movie,
Yeah.
you will be able to put your face in them, right? Or the face of people that you want in it, because why not?
Yeah.
Just to give an
Yeah.
example, or the
Yeah.
voice. Or
Yeah.
imagine you put your father, no, pass away father, into a movie about something that he really liked. I don't know. My father liked the Saint, the TV show about the secret agent, stuff like that.
Yeah, I always wonder in the future whether you will have fictitious actors that are created through AI, and what's the impact of that? Do you still need to pay Tom Cruise $20 million a movie or whatever the number is because you'll create characters like before movies came out, we read books and there was no actor in that book, a human being. It was a character. We interpreted that character from the writing, and then the book was created. I have a feeling things like that are going to affect all forms of media, including the movies one day. It's going to be exciting. Well, this is really awesome. It's so cool to see a future unicorn early in its
Right.
making. Before we leave, I'd like you for other would-be startup folks that are kind of going through this early stage process, getting things off the ground, talking about AI, going across the world, trying to raise money. Is there any kind of little lesson or piece of advice that you'd give them based on your experiences over the past year or two?
Yeah, the market has changed dramatically. First, we were looking at finance grow at all cost into finance revenue at low cost. Instead, right now, I think we are shifting toward on bring revenue with less external capital as possible to the table. So my suggestion to all the medium small size, because there is people that leave OpenAI to create an OpenAI competitor. Like, okay, that's different ball game. But for the people that is not, co-founder of OpenAI level and starting a new competitor of synergy reality, my suggestion is to try to come up with solution that can go to market quickly, generate revenue quickly, and raise money as later when you really need to accelerate scale. This is the best scenario. There are a lot of startups that made profitable immediately, or in any case in very short amount of time, and it's never been so easy to create something that generates revenue quickly. Then sustainability is another problem. But so my
Yeah,
suggestion is start it as a side project, start to find a way to monetize it, and only start to invest in it later, unless you just graduated from and you are
Stanford.
23, 24, and you are entering in Y Combinator. That's also past,
Yeah,
fine. Or unless you are a co-founder on a multi-billion-dollar exit or a multi-billion-dollar unicorn, and you are or very, very early employee, and then you are leaving. Then in that case, it's convenient to go and raise a big check to vacuum clean talent in a specific vertical, like many startup did, So small cannot compete in that vertical. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I think one of the issues we're going to see right now is because AI is so new, it's growing so quickly. It is a little bit of a race for talent. And one of the challenges there is these big companies can pay whatever they want to go after the best
Mhm.
resources. So I guess the
Yeah.
sale from the small guy is exactly what you just said, which is, yeah, they can pay you a lot of money to be part of their organization, but we had the ability to scale much, much quicker as a small company. And then we could command a higher valuation with a lot less dilution. So that's the trade off, the risk reward scenario, which,
Yes.
I think people have always tried to make that case, right? Well, we get more equity if you hit a home run with a startup. We've always sold that. But I think everything's just accelerated now with AI. And I think that case becomes even more compelling. And you're seeing these extraordinary valuations with some of these companies now that have a handful of employees and just started a year or two ago. And it's happening in AI. I don't know if those frothy kind of valuations will continue, but I think for those willing to take the risk and maybe forego the big company and the high payday who want to roll the dice on a startup and be part of a new world, it could be a really exciting opportunity. So, good luck to
Yeah,
you. And thanks
totally.
so much for joining us today, Damian.
Of course. And thank you for your time. Great to be here today.
Great. If anyone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do that? Is it LinkedIn? Is it email? What's the best way
I
to
think
connect?
my email will be the best way, and it's my name at streetbeat.com. Very easy.
All right. Damian Scavo, streetbeat.com. Damian, it was awesome having you today. Thanks so much. And that is a wrap. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
The Startup Innovators podcast is provided by MatchStar Venture Search. If you are interested in any of our executive roles or need help sourcing world-class talent for your company, check out our website at matchstar.com.